In our previous lesson, we learnt that Earth's largest continent, Asia, is quite diverse with regards to its geography as well as its culture. Now, Asia is the continent that contains or consists of three of the oldest civilizations. As we all know that some of the earliest civilizations of the world include the Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, and finally the Chinese civilization. Now, out of all these, we see that three of the earliest civilizations exist in Asia itself. So, the cultural diversity of Asia quite rightly reflects the cultural heritage of these existing ancient civilizations. Civilizations reflect a complex of human society. It also reflects the ancient traditions that are integral to all the societies that exist. It also reflects the activities that have played a very important role in the development of these civilizations and eventually in today's world. These include the permanent settlements, the Industrial Revolution, and agriculture playing a very important role here. So these three civilizations, that are Chinese civilization, Indus Valley civilization, and the Mesopotamian civilization, have played a very important role in defining and in structuring the existing cultural diversity of the continent. Now, these civilizations have had a big influence on the continent of Asia. The traits of high IQ can still be seen in the present day countries that belong to this continent. And these countries reflect how intelligent the people of the early civilizations were with regard to town planning and with regard to the complete administration of these civilizations. So the countries in Asia are known for their high IQs. Now, as per the report of 2019, there are some countries of Asia that have topped the rank. These include Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, China, Mongolia, Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. So these are the countries that reflect the high IQ traits of the ancestors that used to live in these early civilizations that existed in the continent. So we see that Asia, since the very early days, have been quite developed and has been always ahead of time. Now, as per the location of the continent, we can see that the continent lies almost in the northern hemisphere and entirely in the eastern hemisphere. So it's a northeastern continent with a huge latitudinal and longitudinal extent. Now, with regard to the latitudinal and longitudinal extent, we see that the continent extends from 10 degrees south to 80 degree north latitudes and from 26 degree east to 170 degree west longitude. So we see that it covers a huge area of the earth with extreme geographical features and extreme geographical climatic conditions. Now, Asia and Europe, that is the continent right adjacent to the existing continent, are together known as Eurasia. So these two continents together form one landmass, which is more commonly known as Eurasia. So we see that this is Europe and this is Asia. Now the two continents are separated by the Ural Mountains, the Ural River, Black Sea, and the Caspian Sea. So we can say that these here form a boundary on the western side of the continent. However, on the other three sides, that is the northern, the eastern, and the southern part of the continent, is mostly covered by oceans, and these include the Arctic Ocean to the north, the Pacific Ocean to the east, and the Indian Ocean to the south. Now, the continent of Asia is connected to the continent of Africa by a triangular piece of land. So, a narrow triangular piece of land that is right here connects the two continents of Asia and Africa. And this triangular piece of land linking these two continents is known as the Sinai Peninsula. So Sinai Peninsula acts as a connecting bridge between the two continents of Asia and Africa. So before we proceed with our lesson, could you help me answer this simple question? Can you tell me whether the given statement is true or false? Sinai Peninsula separates Asia from Europe. Is it true or is it false? The correct answer is it is false. The Sinai Peninsula does not separate Asia from Europe, rather it links Asia from the continent of Africa. So here is a picture that shows us the Sinai Peninsula. Now besides the Sinai Peninsula, there is another linking point that connects the continent of Asia and Africa. And this is a narrow stretch of land, that is the Isthmus of Suez. Now the Isthmus of Suez lies right here. It is a narrow stretch of land that connects the continent of Asia from Africa. It lies between the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. So we can say that the Isthmus of Suez, lying between the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea, connects the continents of Africa and Asia. Now right here through the Isthmus of Suez is the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is an important canal and it plays an important role as a sea route between two water bodies, that is the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. So here is a picture of the Isthmus of Suez, which is a narrow stretch of land connecting two huge land masses, that is Asia and Africa, and separating two huge water bodies, that is Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. This here is a picture of the Suez Canal that passes through the Isthmus of Suez and acts as an important sea route between Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Now while at the northern part of the continent of Africa, the Sinai Peninsula connects Asia to Africa. On moving a little down, we see that there is a narrow stretch of water body that separates Africa from Asia. Now this water body is known as the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb. Now the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb is a narrow stretch of water body that separates two huge land masses, that is Asia from Africa, and it connects two water bodies, that is the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. So the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb between Yemen on the Arabian Peninsula and Djibouti and Eritrea in the Horn of Africa, that is right here, separating Africa from Asia. So the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb acts as a separating body for the two continents of Asia and Africa, while it connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden in the Arabian Sea. Now in the very northeastern part of the continent, Asia is separated from North America by the Bering Strait. Now the Bering Strait, as we can see, is another narrow stretch of water body separating Russia of Asia from Alaska of the North American continent. So the Bering Strait is a narrow stretch of water body that separates Russia from Alaska, or by extension Asia from North America. However, it connects the two water bodies, that is Bering Sea of the Pacific Ocean and the Chukchi Sea of the Arctic Ocean. Now if we zoom into the area of the Bering Strait, we see that the Chukchi Peninsula of Russia is separated by the Bering Sea from the Seaward Peninsula of Alaska. However, it here connects the Bering Sea to the Chukchi Sea. Now in the Bering Strait, we also have two other interesting islands, and these are the Big Diomed and the Little Diomed. Now the Big Diomed belongs to Russia while the Little Diomed belongs to Alaska. So these two diomeds are administratively very important for the two countries and they lie right at the center of the Bering Strait. It is often said that Asia is the continent where sun rises the first. It would be wonderful to enjoy the rising sun with a cup of hot tea. Tea is the most popular beverage in Asia. People in Asia love drinking tea and tea plays a very important role both agriculturally and industrially as it is an important cash crop. Here I have an ultimate guide of tea around Asia for you. So let's look at some of the most interesting and famous tea that is found only in the continent of Asia. These include the Pakistani noon chai, the chai tea of India, the molcho tea of Japan, the Kung Fu of China, Malaysia's tea tarik, the cha yen of Thailand, pocha of Tibet, and finally the bubble tea of Taiwan. Now that's a huge variety of a single beverage. Well, it is one of the most favorite of the people of Asia. So in this lesson, we were able to understand and locate the continent of Asia. We also understood that the continent is bordered by oceans on three sides. That is by the Arctic Ocean in the north, the Pacific Ocean in the east, and the Indian Ocean in the south. However, on the western part, it is bordered by the Ural Mountains, the Ural River, the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea that acts as separating boundary between Europe and Asia. We further learned that the continent is connected to the continent of Africa by the Sinai Peninsula and the Isthmus of Suez. And we also learned that the Suez Canal passes through the Isthmus of Suez and plays an important role as a sea route between Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. We further learned that the continent is separated from the continent of Africa by the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb. In the northeastern side, we also saw that the Bering Strait plays a very important role as a separating body between North America and Asia, where there are two important diomeds, the Big Diomed and the Little Diomed. So that was a lot about Asia. In our next lesson, we'll continue to discover and explore this vast continent. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.